been hunting, take 2. It is the 11th of October. Or is it the 12th? Anyhow, I am in the tree. I got my climber up. I'm about 20 feet in the air. As high as I can get, really. And I've got myself positioned so that I have a nice open shooting lane to my left and behind me. So we'll see what comes in. It's about 64 degrees. Almost nothing wind. And we had rain last night and this morning, so it was nice and quiet getting in here, which is really nice. And I got the scent lock suit on, and I'm just gonna wait it out till dark. See what we see. I got my chest mount, so hopefully we get a view. One thing, there's a ton of squirrels back here, a lot of squirrels. So I'll turn it on if there's any action. Well, what a difference some elevation makes. I just had 3 come through, 2 does and a fawn, and 1 very big doe. And I just turned off my phone because I couldn't get my HuntWise app to open. Anyhow, they hung around behind me at between 30 and 40 yards, and I'll show you where they were. They were right down there behind those yellow leaves. One cracked into the opening and stood there at about 35 yards. But she was a small one. I wanted the big one. And she looked like she was set to walk right up in this opening. Now, the distance between the 2 logs laying there is between 15 and 25 yards. And she started to walk up toward them. And she changed her mind and she trotted down. Time check, it's about 10 after 6. Movement in the woods. I was only here for about 12 minutes before those 3 deer came through. So, and they may still come back up the hill closer to dark, who knows. I want to confess something to you tonight. Maybe it'll surprise you, maybe it won't, but I've been deer hunting since I was 12 years old, and I've been hunting as a human since 7. My grandfather gave us a 410 when I was 7 years old. Me and my brother, single shot, bolt action, and I still have it. And I shot my first squirrel at 7 years old. I have shot dozens of does, and I have seen hundreds of deer, and I still get excited. I had to remind myself at full draw as I was feeling the effects of an adrenaline dump, right? It's like, this is not new. You've done this before. You've seen hundreds of deer. You've killed dozens of deer. There's no reason to be nervous. There's no reason for target panic. So I've learned over the years, you've got to have gear that you trust, and if you saw my tree stand, you would probably laugh at me. It's a River's Edge that I bought in 1996. It's a climber, and it's all metal, and it's not very well silenced, and it's just strong, sturdy, and reliable. Every year I check all the welds. Every year I tighten all the bolts or check them for tightness, and it's just incredibly reliable. It's a stalwart, and I brought this out instead of my, I have a Summit Viper, and the bottom line is, the Viper is very, very comfortable, and that's part of the problem. It's difficult to stand up in for shooting, and this one is very simple, very easy to stand up in, and it's quiet. So, have gear you can trust in. Don't follow trends, follow trust. It's getting to be that weird time of night where darkness is starting to fall on the forest and your eyes play tricks on you. start to see things that aren't really there. And even your ears in the city, there's such a cacophony of noise. On top of nature sounds, you have cars, you have kids playing, dogs barking, and for someone like me who has severe tinnitus, it's really a challenge. I really have to pay close attention. And I really feel conflicted because I know every time I film my own hunts, I'm reducing my chance of killing a deer because of an unnecessary noise that I could make or an unnecessary movement that could spook a deer. But I love this so much. I want to share it. I want to share it with my son. I want to share it with my wife. I'm hoping when I die, my grandchildren will watch these videos and see what their old grandpa was up to when he was 47 years old and, you know, taking up archery hunting for the first time in, 20 plus years. That's something a lot of people don't know, is that while I'm not new to archery hunting, I haven't done it in a very long time. This is the first year I've hunted with a compound bow since 2001. So it's been 20 years since I've used a compound bow. I used to have an old Jennings Buckmaster, and before that I had an old Darton. And I've only ever come to draw on 3 deer in my whole life. One was tonight. One was with my Jennings Buckmaster. One was with my Darton. And I've only ever shot at 1 deer in my life, and I missed it because really it wasn't even legal shooting light. I was in a position where I had to stay put. Anyhow, that's a story for another time, but 20 years of bow hunting, I've never killed a deer. I've killed a lot of deer gun hunting. I'm approaching 50 deer, and about half of them being bucks. Only 1 wall hanger. So deer hunting is exceedingly difficult. So to increase the difficulty factor by bringing my camera into the woods and filming like this, I question the wisdom of it sometimes. I don't know of an indigenous people on any continent that sustained themselves on deer alone. They're very difficult to hunt. And not just whitetail, mule deer, antelope, Sitka, axis deer, all of these extremely smart, very sensitive, very athletic, fast twitch muscle deer. There's never been a tribe of people that I'm aware of that sustained themselves off of it. Deer have always been luxury food. And, thank God for people like Fred Bear. We all stand on the shoulders of giants in this sport. And people who have figured out things and passed them down. None of us are where we are on our own accord. We all stand on the shoulders of giants in this sport, in this hunt. And I'm thankful people figured it out for me because I am not smart enough for this. Now, with that being said, deer are an animal that you can pattern. deer can be patterned, they can be figured out, they can be very predictable animals. But there are no guarantees. There are so many variables in hunting. And it's why we love it. It's why I love it. It's why I pray my son will love it next year when he hunts for the first time.
Well, that's the way it goes, guys. Came to full draw. I did not draw blood. But that's the fun of bow hunting, if I get to go out and try again tomorrow. So I think it was a successful night. I've got a pattern. Both times I've been out there, the deer have come from and gone to the exact same place at the exact same time. So I haven't morning hunted, so I have an opportunity tomorrow morning to hunt, which I rarely get during the week, but work circumstances just happen to work out that way. So praise God. But yeah, successful night. Leave your comments. Tell me what you think about any aspect of this video. And like this video also. It's so important, guys. Trying to hit the algorithm, trying to keep up with the big channels. So anyhow, that's what it is tonight, guys. Like, subscribe, share. See you on the next one.